experience in machine vision, and as well as recently the race of the ChatGPT. And the lecture will be divided into two parts. The first part is the application. That is what I'm going to go through today. And I know we just had lunch, so hopefully that lunch doesn't make us fall asleep very soon. And maybe it's part of my lecture if it is too boring. So let's start. So this is the syntaxis. First, I will talk about the agriculture or say food production, the problems in Taiwan. Then I will talk about some machine vision applications that is ongoing, so I say now. And also like the future is the generative AI. And so we all come here because we have the same background, that is agricultural, which is food production in general. So in traditional agricultural practice, we know it is suspect to say pest, disease, and a natural disaster. And even after the industry revolution, we have some facilities, say greenhouse or some tractors in the field. We still have to need experienced farmers or experts to inspect the quality of the production. So that's the problem for now. And also there's an additional problem in Taiwan. Here we can see the birth rate and the birth numbers. I am roughly here, and nowadays it's here. It's like 1/3 of what was going on 50 years ago. And this is not only the problem, like worldwide, that the labor or the workforce for agriculture is dropping in developed countries too. So back in 2017, there's a big project called Smart Agriculture, conducted by the Ministry of Agriculture in Taiwan. So the basic idea is, this is the field. And we want to use some sensors to replace human senses. And then we send information to the cloud, and cloud will do the calculation for us to determine what is happening in the field. So what is exactly machine vision? So imagine that something, some algorithm that can replace human in terms of reading or watching. So this is replaced by AI, right? And more specifically, those are deep learning models. Okay, and now today I'm going to talk about applications only. So, but it will cover many different areas, include agriculture, aquaculture, forestry, and animal husbandry. So the first one is tomato disease and pest and disorder problems. And we want to detect these problems using machine vision. So thinking about these crops, starting from tomato, those are very essential to human beings. And the current practice is that if the farmers see some problem, they take a photo, they send to expert. If the expert doesn't have time or he's not or she's not sure what is going on, they ask the farmer, send over the sample, and they do the spectroscopy examination. And it's very time consuming. So in order to deal with this, we know tomato is one type of crops that is there are many diseases can make the production reduce. So here you can see they are like 17 diseases. And to distinguish these diseases, we also encounter some problems. Here you can see like certain disease in their early or late stage, they look very similar. And even for the experts, they cannot distinguish those diseases from photos. So our approach is that we group them together as these, okay. And why can we do this? We group the 17 to 14 categories because for certain groups, we can find common pesticide to treat them. So the key idea is that farmers, they do not need to know what disease it is. They only need to know what pesticide they can use, okay? So this is the idea. And these are the numbers of images that we collect in the past 5 years. Total of more than 10,000 images. Actually, it's close to 20,000 images now. And we use 5 deep learning models, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And I don't want to go into the details because those are very complicated. But what I can say is that their accuracies are all more than 90%. And here is a live bot. Live is a very common instant messenger application in Taiwan. So what I just demonstrated is a farmer upload an image that he or she took. And the live bot service tells the farmer what it is. And then there are two hyperlinks that can show what pesticide that the farmer can use. So this is all alleviate a lot of burden for the expert too. So this is the very first application. And the second is the crop identification from landscape images. Because in Taiwan we have small lands, I will show you later, and we send enumerators into the field and take photos. And we want to know what crop is grown in this specific area. And this is for the demand and supply issues, because if for certain specific type of crop, the amount is too much, then the price drops. So we need to know what is going on in the market and what will going on in the market in a few months. And this is the purpose. And why don't we use the UAV? And because in Taiwan, the farmland sizes are very small, so it's better and more accurate to send enumerators. But nowadays we rely on the enumerators to identify what crop it is, and that is still time consuming. So now, what's our strategy? First, we need to see what kind of images we are dealing with. And second is, they are more than 100 types of crops cultivated in the land. Okay, so here we can see rice, pineapple, banana, corn, peanut, and they are much more than this. And for certain crop types that they are very popular, so we can collect a lot of images. A total of 1.5 million images have been collected for 53 types of crops. For each crop type, we have at least 1,500 images. So we can do identification for that. But the problem is the crop. There are some other crops that we don't have so many images. So we are not sure we can do an accurate identification. And this is first problem. And second problem is they are land that is not for agricultural purposes. Some farmers, they build buildings and they use land as like a parking lot. So we also have to identify if those land are used for agricultural practice. And these two are called out of distribution images. That means we are not going to identify them automatically. So the first problem is to solve this OOD problem. So what is OOD? In a sense that we use a feature extractor. If you are familiar with ChatGPT, the T is the transformer. It's one kind of deep learning model to perform as a feature extractor. So we know what it does is that it maps one image to a high dimensional space. In a sense, each crop or each crop size will be a cluster in this hyperspace. Okay, and with this information, the next one is that if we feed one image and the point is within this cluster, and we do the crop identification automatically. For those 53, okay. But if it is OOD, that is this red point. That means the image doesn't belong to these 53 type of crops. We have to do it manually. but still we can save like at least 90% of the expert's time. Okay, so this is the performance of the out-of-distribution detection. It reaches almost 98%. And for the crop identification, we are still working on it, but it reaches 91% for now. For 53 types, that's a lot, big number already. And now let's move to another application. That is the wood species identification. So in Taiwan, we have abundant forest resources, and there are many issues, even the resources abundant. Like if there's a typhoon count, you can see in the place, like river goes to the ocean, there's a lot of like draft wood going to there. And the officers have to clean them up in a week. Okay, otherwise those wood can be picked by regular citizens. Okay, and second is that they are, because the wood are so special and expensive, they are like people going to the mountain and they try to cut down these trees. And the other thing is that in Taiwan, we try to give QR code to certify, okay, if this wood is allowed to be sold. Okay, but this all takes time, like to identify what kind of wood it is. So here you can see the price of certain wood in Taiwan. The most famous one is hinoki. If you have been to Japan, you see those big gate woods. I would say 80% are from Taiwan. Okay, those are famous and very good wood. And so our strategy is that we check the cross-section images of this wood, and we identify from these cross-section images. So as you can tell that these cross-section images are quite different, and they contain certain important features for us to identify the wood. So this is the image collection process. It's a little bit complicated, but we have to train it almost perfectly to acquire the good imaging. And we also developed a identification application to do this using two deep learning models. So this is one and this is two. So let's take a look how it works. So basically we use a magnifier and we put a 3D printer printed crab and along with a cell phone, and then we can zoom in and check those teeny tiny patches. It's about like 1 by 1 centimeter. We only need the image. We don't need the sample. Then we can do the identification. And accuracy is actually quite high. And next, let's move to shrimp appetite and lens measurement. So I'm not sure if you have experience in agriculture, aquaculture. For shrimp and fish, there are several problems with them. First is they are in the water, so we cannot see them directly, from the shore. And second is that the 40% of the cost is the feed itself. And third problem is once the feed is put into the pound, there's no way to recycle that. Say if you put feed into a pound for like 2 or 3 days and they are not eaten, what will happen to the feed? They'll rotten, right? And the shrimp or fish eat those rotten feed while sick, and then they will die quickly. So we have to put exactly the amount that the shrimp or the fish need into the water in order to to reduce our cost, also to make them away from being sick. Okay, so let's see this figure here down in the bottom. This is the traditional way to check shrimp's appetite. That is kind of like you put a feed on a screen and put it down in the water, and after 13 minutes you pull it out. And it is labor intensive, time consuming, I would say that. And also it is subjective that every farmer, their interpretations are different. So in order to solve this problem, we developed a fully automatic measurement system for both the feed residual and also for shrimp length. And here you can see this is a cow over here, and we have an underwater video system. It is connected to a DVR and a NAS, or we can stream those back to a cloud service, which is a computer in my lab. And there is an automatic feeder over here that will put some sample feed automatically. And after certain deep learning algorithm and certain algorithm, the system will provide these numbers, metrics. So let's first take a look of the items, the equipment that we have. This is the automatic feeder. So it is set to drop just a little bit sample feed into the water 4 times per day. From my own, if I recall it correctly, it's like 2 p.m., 8 p.m., then 2 a.m., and 8 a.m. Okay, so maybe you wonder that why we do it at 2 a.m., like middle of the night, because shrimp, they eat more at night from studies. So this is very important. Basically, they eat like 24/7, okay, if they are hungry. And this is the underwater video system that I just mentioned. So the camera is right here. And this is very special that actually the camera shoots the sky, okay? So the sample feed will be dropped over here and then they will stay here. And later in the video, you'll see that. Okay, so 2 algorithms for 2 purposes. One is residual feed and the other is shrimp length. So let's take a look at them. So for the shrimp length, we use a YOLO V9 model. I believe that you must heard of it. And also a algorithm called SORT to do tracking. And here you can see that mean average precision, which is metric to measure the performance of the algorithm, reaches 92%. Can see there are shrimps coming in to eat the feed. And there's a cyan bounding box there. That is our ROI, region of interest, because most of the feed are over there in that bounding box. Okay, and second is the residual measurement. So here we can see like the sample feed are coming down a little bit, and we detect them in real time automatically. And the automatic feeder works for 30 seconds. So how does the feed go? If this is time, and this is 0 minute to 10 minutes. So in the first 30 seconds, the feed amount goes up, then it goes down gradually. And that slope, when the feed was eaten, determine the appetite of the shrimp. So basically, this is the idea. And for the long term, that we can see that this shrimp, their dance can be measured automatically. And why this is important? Because in Taiwan, we have like frozen shrimp or live shrimp. Their prices are quite different. In the sense that if we want to optimize the profit of the farmers, we can tell them, okay, now the market price is this, and if you want to sell, it's the right place. Okay, we can do all kinds of these things. And next, let's move to chicken. And these chickens are native chickens. They are not broilers. A little bit different. I believe that you have native chicken in your countries, right? Okay. And in Taiwan, native chicken is always the best for like soup cooking. My mom always used native chicken. She never used broiler because their meat is too, like, I don't know how to describe, not tender. It's, yeah. Right, so yeah, that's right. So basically, chicken market in Asia is a big market and it's going up now. But there are challenges too. So what's the most famous challenge or notorious challenge? The aviation influenza, right? If I call it correctly. So when I was a kid, it was only an issue in winter. But nowadays, it's like for all the seasons, if you realize about that. And like sending a person going to the chicken house to check the status of chicken is not a good idea. He has to put like all like protection suit like this, and nobody is like going to do that every day or 3 times per day. So our solution is that we propose an automatic mother system, and the camera is installed on rooftop, and they can shoot down and see how the chicken goes. And then the video is streamed to the cloud. Because this is video, and maybe later we can talk about solutions, edge computing, cloud computing, or in the middle it's called fog computing. But those are all different solutions to solve the same problem, machine vision problem. And then we also develop a web page that will, they can warn the farmer what is going on, and if there's anything anomalous, okay? So let's see what we are monitoring. Dispersion and movement. Okay, the movement is actually pretty straightforward. So we can see like how fast the chickens are moving. Okay, under normal condition, they should like human beings. They don't move very quickly. They just stay there. If there's nothing happen, they tend to eat a lot, like human, right? So basically, this is what we expect to see. And for the dispersion, because we can only monitor certain area, okay, but for that certain area, we can use a number to determine the dispersion. If the number is small, that means it is sparse in that area, not so many chickens. But if the dispersion number is high, that means it is high density in that area. But in both the extreme cases, they are not normal. In a sense, if there's no chicken in this area, that means they are somewhere else. But why there's no chicken here? There must be a reason, okay? And if it's too dense, that means all the chickens are here. Why? We don't know, but well, we'll take a look. So the next thing is that we have to develop a statistical model to see how the two numbers go. So let's see the chicken dispersion in long term. For those Taiwanese chickens, their growth period is like 12 weeks. You know how long the broilers grow?
7 to 9.
7 to 9? That's too many. Like they are slaughtered after 5 weeks. Usually within 5 weeks. 28 to 35 days only broiler. Yeah. Okay. So the native chickens, they live for a long time. So we have to use statistical analysis to check what is going on. So we see this dispersion number, it goes up. That is because when they grow, okay, they get big. That means in the same area, the number of chicken will reduce. Okay, so this is basically what is going on. And this is true both for winter and for summer. And let's see next, the chicken dispersion. Okay, so we can see that there are cases that there are not so many chickens. But there are cases with many chickens. And we determine a warning zone. You can see here is the green zone. That means this is safe. So how do we come up with safe? That is the 95 confidence interval of the distribution. Okay. And if it is outside 95 confidence interval, and for a long time, then we determine it's a warning, red warning. And we suggest that farmers go into their chicken house to check what is going on there. Okay. And for the long term of the chicken movement, it's even more like human beings. Like when you have kids, right? They are very energetic. So these are young chicken, They have high movement. And I'm probably in this age, ready for slaughter. So I am very slow over here. Okay, so that is the trend. And also the temperature also determines their movement. We can see the winter movement is higher than the summer movement. And there's also a daily pattern. We can see, okay, this is the temperature. And this is the movement. And similar to human beings, like after lunch, when it is sunny outside, we tend to not move too much. Okay. And but the real issue is that we see in one particular case, the chicken lost in the chicken house for 30 minutes. Is that normal? Of course not. Okay. So I think this is how the system works. If there's anything wrong, we are not only quantifying like their dispersion or movement, we also send the warning to the farmers. So the farmer can come to the chicken house only if there is some issues. If it is under normal condition, we really don't have to do anything. And after chicken are raised, the next is slaughterhouse. Okay, so this is about to increase the quality of the chicken product. Also, to make it more complicated, like chicken, now for chicken raising, we have like individual farmers. They raise the chicken for the industry. But when they try to catch the chicken, like if the bruise happens, okay, what does the industry do? They take money back. Yeah, they take money back. So this is between individual farmer and the slaughterhouse or the chicken industry. Like what I'm saying is like Tyson or some big brand here in the United States. Okay, so there are 4 types of issues: pile pollution, and bruise, and tear, and scab. We are trying to detect them in the production line. And this is the traditional way in a slaughterhouse in Taiwan. And so here is the place the workers pick out the chicken carcass with defects. And that is really time-consuming and inefficient. And to make it more complicated, if you are aware there are native chickens in your countries, do you know there are like maybe 100 types of native chickens? There are so many. And in Taiwan, like the commercial varieties, there are at least 10. Okay, this is some really big challenges. And this is the reason why we do it by ourselves. The broiling system doesn't work for us. So in the very right, you can see the silky foam. Can you see that it is so dark that you don't even see the details there? It is naturally dark. Their bones are dark. So in Mandarin, Taiwan, we call it dark bone chicken. Dark bone chicken. It's very special. Yes, very special. So this is also a automatic system. Here we acquire the images, and I'll explain the details later. And there are 2 deep learning models are employed. One is the body parts detection model. We detect the parts, say wing, the breast, the leg, the thigh, literally. And the second is the classification model that is used to detect if this body part is defective or not. And this is the output. So let's take a look of the system setup. So here you can see camera 1 over there, and here you can see camera 2 over there. And the entire system goes up, and there's an industrial computer with GPU. If you are familiar with NVIDIA, maybe you heard of like Jensen or Ring. Those are industrial computers with a GPU embedded, okay? So there is another PLC over here. And within like 2 seconds, the system needs to determine the basic idea. And the first model, the body parts detection model, reached an MAP of 98%. It's pretty high. And second is the defect classification model. So all the defects, like tears, bruise, piles, those can be detected at the accuracy of 96.9%. It's pretty high. Okay, and now let's move to another topic over here. It's pig farming. So maybe you don't have native chicken, but I bet you have pigs, right? I know there are some countries they don't have pig, but probably not in South or Middle America, I guess. Okay, so just a little brief of the pig farming. There are 3 stages. First is farrowing. Farrowing is the stage that the mother pig gives birth to their piglets. And piglets will stay with their mother for 3 to 4 weeks. And next, we move to nursery. Okay, it's called nursery pen. This is pen, so it's actually a little bit bigger. And farrowing is pretty narrow. And in 8 weeks, the nursery piglet will be moved to finishing, which is a word that I don't like very much. That means you are finished, right? So I'm not sure who invented this word.
Like video games.
Okay. Now let's talk about farrowing first. Okay. So here is the farrowing crate. Like in farrowing houses, there are many crates, and on the back and top of the crate, we install camera with the embedded system. We can also use IP cam, and the video is streamed back. And then we use 2 deep learning models and do some data analysis and get those measurement metrics. And let's take a look. And this is very special, similar to the chicken. So animals, we usually use videos as input. And you can tell the reason. This is feeding. Feeding means the sow is eating. It doesn't mean the sow is lactating. It's different. But this is standing, and you can see, you probably cannot recognize or differentiate that using one single image. You have to use video to do that. So that's the basic reason. And we also can recognize sitting, which is that the sow have her butts on the ground. Also recumbency. Recumbency is a very special posture in the sense the sow hides her nipple. She doesn't want the piglet to suckle. Okay, so I will explain more details later. And also the lying is not lactating because the piglets are not there. And we also recognize lactating right and lactating left. Okay, for the 2 sides is to detect unfeeding piglets. Let me see if I have the slide later. Okay, so this is the statistics, and this is what we tell the farmers. We don't only recognize the posture, we also tell them if each sow is healthy or not. So take a look of here we have 10 sows. Which one is particularly different?
4.
4, right? The yellow portion is so large, and the yellow portion is recumbency. The sow is hiding her nipple. So why? That means she feels uncomfortable or she's ill. Okay. So from these numbers, so imagine farmers can walk in before he walk in the farrowing house. He can look at this chart and see, okay, this sow is probably has some problem. So I have to put more time on watching it. So this is the basic idea. And next is the piglet tracking. So we also want to know the activity label or mobility label of the piglets. and we have to do the tracking. Okay, so this is done using some deep learning model. And here are some metrics. They are not very important. But what we really give farmers is this kind of chart, pie chart. Okay, so what does this chart tell us? It tells us that when the soil is not doing good, her piglet is not doing good either, because most of the time they are resting. Okay, so this is the powerfulness of the AI. It doesn't only give you what the pig is doing, but also do the analysis for you. And let's move to the nursery. But I think I have to go back a little bit because I missed one important point over here. Why do we do the right lactating and left lactating? Because there are some piglets on the other side that is not suckling. We have to detect that. So that's the reason why we are doing that. Okay. And for the nursery, it's a very similar situation, but very different things that in a pen, so this is a nursery pen, on the first day, piglets from different crates are put together. Recall the first day you go to kindergarten or the elementary school. What's the most thing that you are fear of? Some big guy that looks scary, right? It is the same for piglet. Bully happens over there. That's the number one thing that we want to put attention. Okay, so let me skip the details over here. The first thing is that we have to detect the pig and check them, okay? And for the individual one, of course, for the individual one. And after that, the second thing is we have to identify 3 behaviors. The first behavior is aggression. Oh, that's the worst case. Aggression is defined that 2 piglets, they contact, and but one of the piglet contact the other one using his or her mouth that is trying to bite, okay? And second is feeding, and third is drinking, okay? And the models reach an average accuracy of 90%. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is from day 1 to day 35, and we have feeding time over here, and we have drinking time over here, and we have aggression, and we also have movement. So what do we observe here? Does bully exist? Yes, they do. See? Okay, the bully rate drops gradually, probably going down to stable in 2 weeks. Okay, and the feeding time and the drinking time, they goes up gradually. Okay, but we can see that there are 2 groups. Here is group 1, and here's group 2. Why is that? I'll explain the details later. And the drinking time goes up gradually too. And the movement is very high in the first day, on the first day. Why? The first day you go to kindergarten, you are like, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just like, move around. That's basically very natural. And this is weekly behaviors too. Okay, so we do some statistic analysis. Say, like for the bully, the frequency in the first week is significantly higher than the 4th and 5th weeks. Okay? And now let me answer you why there are 2 groups in feeding. This is hot season, and this is cold season. It's like summer and winter to human, right? We eat more in winter, like Christmas. But some of you are from the south, so I'm not sure if Christmas is hot there, from what I understand. So yeah, but in Taiwan, winter is like Chinese New Year, and I'm always eat too much. So next topic is generative AI. I think I have time still. Okay. So the previous slides are what have been done in the past years. Those are projects that I worked on. And those AI, machine vision AI, we call them discriminant AI. And the opposite is generative AI. So do you know what is generative AI? I mean, the definition? The definition is that the result generated by AI is almost automatically unlimited. Say, are you guys and girls familiar with piano? How many keys a piano has? How many keys? For like standard piano.
Yeah.
Piano, 88 keys for standard piano. Okay, so say if I want to compose a song with 100 notes, not 100,000 notes, what's the possibilities? Yes, it's 88,000, right? So that's unlimited. So this is called generative AI. Say if you want AI to write you a poem, an essay, okay, with a certain specific title that you assign, the result can be like unlimited. Okay, so this is generative AI. So for discriminant AI, the results are under control. They are limited. This is the big difference between these two. And also, like we see this figure again over here. Where is, what's the role of generative AI in this figure? Of course, it will be brand over here. Okay, so generative AI is the future. And what do we do? How do we use it in agriculture or say food production? How do we do that? So the most famous generative AI, I believe all of you know, is ChatGPT, right? The most powerful version now is 4.0, okay? And you have to pay like 20 or 25 US dollars if you use that version. So text generative AI is actually one type of natural language processing, okay? And the model is called large language model. I will talk about how large it is to model. It is super huge compared to those machine vision models. And the most famous one is ChatGPT. So what can it do? It can do reading comprehension. It understands your question and then answer your question, okay? And it can generate text. That's mostly the answer part. So comprehension is you understand your question, and text generation is to generate answers, okay? But are those answers reliable? Usually not. So I'll talk about it tomorrow, okay? But let's take a look at what it can do first. Like also it can do content summarization. If you give ChatGPT a full-length paper, it can give you an abstract, what is going on over there. And it can do coding. Is there any like engineers here? Okay, are you scared or not really?
No, I'm actually, I have some questions about the ARIMA model that you have there.
Sure, yeah. We don't have to worry about it. I'm a programmer too. Yeah, I never worry about it. It's not that smart, okay. Okay, it can also do the language translation. So let me explain what I think ChatGPT can do in agriculture first. And I can do more explain tomorrow if I have enough time. And the first thing is I call it Copilot. So what is Copilot? How do you use ChatGPT? We usually say, give me a draft of one email and I'm going to send it to some, maybe some officer or some farmer, right? He can do the draft for you, okay? But you have to modify the draft. You have to make sure that it is correct. That is Copilot. So in agriculture, we can do that too. What is plant disease report Copilot. In Taiwan, we have a plant doctor that we send to the field to check the plant what's the reason causing. And unfortunately, like every one of you, like sitting in this room, we have to write a lot of report. But ChatGPT can be the helper, right? Like say we develop one application that can get the GPS location, the temperature in this area, the history, etc. Then it can draft the report for us. And we can modify it later. Saves our time. Still, our job is still secure, so don't worry about that. And also, for the machine vision, if this application is a function of machine vision, okay, then we take a look, take a picture of what is going on the plant. We can do recognize. And then this is Copilot too. The result can be put into the report. But the expert has to check if the machine vision model is correct or not. If not, it's going to be a feedback to our model, and the model can be further improved. So this is Copilot. We help each other. We help AI. Okay. And second is the agricultural information collection. Say if we have people like plant doctor that is actually expert like us sending into the field to check something. Usually, collection of information is very, very difficult. Only the officers sent there know what is going on, and we don't. Okay, so if we have the powerfulness of ChatGPT, that can give us some draft or some paper or report. The paper or report can be sent, say, to the Minister of Agriculture, and they can see what is going on, like over the country, and then determine the policies. That is also important. And third is the intelligent farmer service. I bet that you have seen you have thought of this already, but this is not what I propose. Like usually, if you ask ChatGPT agricultural question, the answer that it gives you sucks, right? Yeah. So what we actually can do is to use high quality data or document actually written by researchers. Like in Taiwan, we have agricultural research institute. Okay, they have a lot of report, but it's hard for farmers to read, to find, search those reports. And we can use one function from ChatGPT that is called, let me go back here, content summarization. That summarize, search and summarize what ChatGPT gets, and then give the information to the farmer using the very plain words. That's what I propose to do. And actually, that has been done partially. So, Bios, right? It's a pesticide company that actually their large language model, things like ChatGPT, was released on March 14th of this year. I'm not sure how to access to that service, but first it's in English. Maybe it's not friendly like to the farmers of your country. It's not friendly to my people either. So second is that since it's an international big company, they can do it. We can do it too. We can do it too. So these are my last few slides, and these are the partners or my sponsors from my countries. And these are the students in my lab. They help me finish this presentation, as well as the project that I mentioned previously. Thank you very much.
Questions?
Yeah, so thank you so much for the presentation. Actually, a lot of ideas coming right now in top of my head, coming back to Rosario. But there are some questions regarding the computational costs, right? Because most of the implementations that you showed they are coming to apps in the cell phone. So I wonder how much, in terms of deployment of these things, how much it costs. So I need to buy a server. Do I need to buy something in the cloud services or on-premise devices? What can I do? Because that is what we are facing right now to do these deployments reality, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So computation is always a problem. And as I said, there are three solutions. One is the edge solution. That means you do the computing just on-site or on the camera, the device is safe. And the other extreme case is cloud computing. That means you stream all the images or videos to a cloud server, and you do the computation over there. And in between, there is a fog computing. Okay, and let me explain what is fog computing. Say, if you have a Pharaoh in house, say, I'm not very good at drawing, so don't laugh at me. So say there are many pigs, but you have one computer with GPU, and there are many cameras. All the cameras, the video are streamed to this PC. This is called fog computing, and this is very appropriate for the area that has limited, like internet bandwidth. Okay, and for say this fog computing is actually my solution for the peak application. It's video, and video are huge, right? If you stream them over the cloud, that will cost you a lot of money. Okay, so we can store those videos in the computer, or it's actually not in the computer, in a NAS. And it has the network attached storage. Okay, it's a hard drive cluster. Okay, then we process those videos by the phone on site, and we can do almost real time. And the server cost is not much. Do you play computer games?
Yes, well, not me, but my brother, yeah.
Yeah, your brother. What kind of graphic card does he use?
So there, GPU, NVIDIA GPU, what, 8 GBs, perhaps 10 GBs at the max slot.
They are like card numbers. The most famous one nowadays is 4090. 4090 Ti. In the old days, it's 1080. So for like I would say, for this kind of, these are like gaming cards. Those are not commercial cards.
Right.
Those are not very expensive. I would say maybe around $1,000 US.
Right.
Okay, that is power enough to deal with one Pharaoh house.
So, but that is, I mean, I don't remember if they have 8 GBs of RAM inside the GPU, or it's like 8 GB enough, or should we go up or than that?
8 gigabytes. For 4090, I think it's 24 gigabytes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
It's
that's
much bigger nowadays.
right.
And the price is going
No,
down.
because in my country, what I find is 8, 10, and then after that I need to import them.
Okay.
So that's the problem.
That's
Yeah.
the reality.
Yeah, that's the reality. So yeah, for sure you have 24, but for us it's quite, I mean, I need to do these own quotes
Right.
from Dell
Yeah.
Enterprise,
Yeah.
and it will be huge to bring it to my country because there are taxes, importations, all these custom
Okay.
things. So,
Okay.
right.
You know what? We have the secretary of ICDF here. You can talk to him.
Yes, please. I mean, it would be so nice. Yeah, that would be so nice.
For this class, that which was in charge.
Right.
Any other question?
Yeah, sorry, so regarding the NAS, but I mean, you were mentioning the computer, so I think you could handle, let's say, and now the NAS, I mean, it's an additional cost that you need to include there, right?
Yes, there's an additional cost because you need to store the video for at least 3 days. Just
So that is only for buffer.
yes, it's only for buffer. You
Okay.
store because when you are doing streaming, like there are multiple cameras.
Yeah.
So you need some buffer.
So you have this buffer, but then you need to remove the videos or delete the
Delete them after 3 days,
Right.
after you finish.
I see.
Yes, but it's usually very real time. Like for this kind of like gaming cards, it's almost real time.
Yeah,
process.
and for the large language models, I mean, the training that you are doing, I mean, are you doing the training? Because that is
No, you can't
expensive
train
as
them.
crazy, right?
They are super huge.
Yeah.
There's no way to train them.
So, because you were saying that you are getting feedback from the experts in the field, and then you are trying to improve the model, but the model actually is not updating. But
Let me explain this again. For the computer vision model, they can be trained.
yeah, Yeah.
But for the large language model, they can't. They are too large.
right. So,
Okay.
so
So
the
for the
feedback-
machine vision application, it's okay to train them.
yeah, so then in the feedback you are receiving is like in ChatGPT that you are mostly guiding the answer but not modifying the model.
No, it's not. Yeah, you are right. It's like the guiding, or you use some high quality document, the content of the document to answer.
So you are
the
doing
question.
RAG. You're doing RAG, right? So
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah, you are
That's
the
what you're doing.
expert.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Now I get it.
Okay. And yes, sir.
Congratulations on the presentation, very well done. I'm not technology savvy, I'm more into production. My question is, how do you protect the your property rights of the research? Second part of the question has to do with how do you get the technology at the farm level?
Yeah, okay. To do the research, actually, I have some very powerful GPUs. I have commercial ones. Those are like A6000, and their memory is 48 gigabytes. And I have 10 of these. I have a cloud of all.
Wow.
These are used to train the model. But for the inference, you don't need such a powerful, graphic card. You need only like a gaming card. Okay, so basic idea is that you need to use a cloud service. Either it's you build your own or use a commercial one to do the research. And after the model are trained, you can implement it in the field with a much lower cost. So this can be done. This can be done. They are like commercial cases already. They're companies helping people to train their model in Taiwan and also in the States. I'm not sure if it is that they are available in your country, but they are commercial available. Yeah.
And do you guys publish the results of your research?
Yes, I do. You want my paper?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We all.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks.
So, yes.
Well, thank you for the presentation. I was very interesting about the summarizing and simplifying the information because sometimes they don't really understand. But our problem begins much before. That is like we have in technological inclusion because people even don't know how to use that. We want to support small producers, but they are completely lost. So we have a school right now in São Paulo, some hockey, that is to teach them to use, the devices and everything. And well, it's really far away from that actually. But do you have this problem, or do you have a start for them to learn how to use it and move on, so that they can?
Yes, we do have these kind of problems. And it's not only from the farmer, but also some researcher in different areas, say agronomy, okay, or say animal husbandry. They are not familiar with this technology and they are afraid. They're afraid AI can replace them, but no, this will never happen. And one solution that I'm working on now is to offer some outreach and extension courses for those researchers, PhD level researchers, to come and to learn the basic of AI, which then I will give a presentation tomorrow and to explain that those are not magic, those are just, computers are only for computation. They have no other power. They don't think. They don't think. So, in those kind of class, there are also farmers coming too to learn. If they are willing, yes, I'm happy, more than happy to teach them. Yeah. I think
How many farmers are using this?
which one?
Like the technology
Oh,
for
okay.
the video farming?
For because there are several applications. For the tomato disease identification, the first step is that we want the plant doctor to try them first. We don't want to release them to the farmers directly. You know, once you fail, the farmer will never trust you again. That's the issue, right? So we are trying to become conservative. So we are talking to the administrator of the plant doctor and ask the plant doctor to do the co-pilot with us to make sure that our models are doing okay. And that's the first step. And for the slaughterhouse, I'm pretty close to, the equipment are in the slaughterhouse, but we are like looking for more chances, like persuading more slaughterhouses to use the system. Yeah. And for the pig farming and for the what is that? Let me take it away. The farrowing and the nursery. This is actually very close too, because for the animal husbandry, the profit margin is much higher compared with like crop, the agriculture, right? So that's the basic idea. They want to reduce labor and keep their profit. They have to use the technology, and these are pretty close. But for some other applications, the interest, or say the profit margin change doesn't make too much interest from the farmers. So I believe they want to have free service. Yeah, they don't want to pay for this kind of service. But it's interesting, so I do it anyway. Yeah. So I think I run out of time, and thank you very much again.
So we will have a 5-minute break and then we'll be back. 5 minutes, only 5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes break.
Not down.
Yeah.